government has been hailed for its new ordinance on acid attacks, paving way to stern measures to curb such heinous incidents. The Prime Minister had recently held a meeting with the victims of acid attacks in a gesture taken as the government's seriousness to deal with this social ill. Against the background that the first case of acid attack was only registered in 2017, the new ordinance indicates that the country has come a long way in dealing with the perpetrators of acid attack. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the headlines of the hour. COVID-19 infection tally crosses 70,000 mark with over 1,300 cases registered. Death tally climbs to 459 with 6 more deaths. Government brings an ordinance to punish acid attacker with a maximum of 20 years jail term and a fine of 1 million rupees. At least 22 people, most of them air cadets, killed in a military plane crash in Ukraine. 2 seriously injured, 3 missing. And Delhi Capitals clings consecutive second win at the Indian Premier League, defeating Chennai Super Kings by 44 runs. A total of 1,313 new cases of COVID-19 were confirmed in the past 24 hours, taking the total number of coronavirus cases in the country past 70,000 mark. 6 individuals succumbed to the virus, taking the COVID-19 death tally to 459. According to the Health Ministry, out of the 1,313 infected, 645 cases were reported from the federal capital. Kathmandu district alone reported 503 cases, Lalitpur 91 and Bhaktapur 51. With the addition of 645 new cases, the total number of cases registered in Kathmandu Valley has reached 18,976, while the country's infection tally has climbed to 70,614. 1,455 individuals were discharged in the past 24 hours, registering full recovery. With this, the total number of recovery in the country has reached 51,866. 6,464 individuals are in quarantine, while 18,289 are active coronavirus cases and are in various isolation centers across the country. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has addressed the 75th United Nations General Convention through a pre-recorded video, stating that it was the duty of the government in Nepal to make anti-COVID-19 vaccines affordable to the people. Premier Oli also reiterated Nepal's long-standing position on the resolution of conflicts through peaceful means. Prime Minister Oli also said that Nepal's development vision was guided by the national aspiration of prosperous Nepal and happy Nepali. The Prime Minister also outlined Nepal's foreign policy objective, saying that enhancing relations with neighbors and other countries based on the principle of equality, mutual respect and justice remained a top priority. Now, the government has introduced an ordinance to punish culprits of the acid attack with a maximum of 20 years jail term and a fine of 1 million rupees. With the rise in the cases of acid attack, the government has introduced strict laws to minimize or root out such deplorable incidents. The newly introduced ordinance on criminal offence has paved way for 20 years rigorous jail imprisonment for the acid attackers and an additional compensation of 1 million rupees to be paid to the victims of acid attacks. The ordinance has also ensured provision of jail term in attempted acid attacks as well. The culprits in the attempted acid attack cases will face 10 years jail term and face a fine of 500,000 rupees to be paid to the victims. The new ordinance was endorsed by the cabinet meeting on Thursday, while the President's office is yet to certify it. The government has introduced the ordinance as the summer session of the Parliament has already ended. Moving on, Prime Minister and ruling NCP Chairman KP Sharma Oli and Executive Chairman Pushpa Kamal Dahal held a meeting once again regarding cabinet reshuffle yesterday. The meeting between the chairman duo lasted for about 2 hours at the Prime Minister's official residence in Baluatar. The chairman duo had a 4-hour-long discussion only on Thursday on the same issue. Both the chairmen were unable to come to an agreement regarding the candidates to be recommended for the Council of Ministers. The Prime Minister's Secretariat has informed that Premier Oli has reached a mindset to restructure the Council of Ministers within a few days by striking a consensus with Executive Chairman Dahal. Sources have claimed that Prime Minister Oli is undecided about terminating ministers who have completed their 2.5-year term and appointing fresh ministers, or only sacking the ministers with mediocre performance. Executive Chairman Dahal and majority of the Secretariat members are in favor of introducing new ministers. Dr. Govinda Kesi, a social crusader seeking reforms in medical education and the health sector, has been on a fast on to death for the past 12 days. This, incidentally, is his 19th round of hunger strike. The government has inked a deal with Dr. Kesi, bowing down to his pressure on numerous times, but has never implemented the past deals, forcing Dr. Kesi to repeatedly wage his battle against the state.
Dr. Kesi initiated his maiden hunger strike in the year 2012. During all these years, the medical education and the health sector have witnessed a few improvements. The campaign launched by Dr. Kesi was solely responsible in ending the ill practices of giving affiliation for medical colleges by the influenced office bearers of the Tribhuvan University, allocating medical seats and fixing exorbitant medical fees, among others. Dr. Kesi is also credited for the reservation of 75% scholarship for MBBS seats in the state-owned medical colleges and full scholarship for the postgraduate MD degree and admission for only deserving medical students. The reforms in the capital's Maharajganj-based TU Teaching Hospital, a more powerful medical council making medical colleges non-profit oriented within 10 years, are also attributed to Dr. Kesi. However, despite all the agreements of the past years, their slack implementation by their stakeholders has once again compelled Dr. Kesi to wage another round of hunger strike. The political appointment at the TU Teaching Hospital instead of seniority is a blatant disregard of the agreement against Dr. Kesi. Likewise, the government is yet to implement the agreement of opening a state-owned medical college in all these 7 provinces, while the Karnali Health and Science Academy is still waiting for the operation of MBBS classes. Analysts in the medical sector feel that the issues raised by this social crusader are all genuine and that the government should work on the agreements reached with Dr. Kesi at the earliest.
Moving on, the daily demand of electricity in the country is about 900 megawatts. 1100 megawatts of electricity, which is higher than the demand, is being produced in the country itself. This has raised question on the reasons behind the blackout hours in several places in the country, giving the flashback of load shedding era. The Electricity Authority stopped 110 megawatt Kulekhani hydropower project on Thursday after complaints of operation hassles due to heavy rainfall. On the same day, on Thursday, different places inside Kathmandu Valley, including Imadol, Gwarko, Naikap, among others, and Mustang region faced power cuts. The other reason for the power cut in Imadol was also due to falling of a tree. Likewise, landslides have uprooted electric poles in various places of the country, leading to the power cuts. On Wednesday, the Kokana area along with Bungamati, Champi and Chunikil saw extended power cuts as some trees had fallen onto the streets. People have begun speculating whether the Electricity Authority has once again implied load shedding hours, as it has coincided with the ouster of former NEA Managing Director Kulman Kissing. However, the authority has clarified that there is no need of load shedding despite facing trouble in import of electricity due to rainfall. The country's power output would not be affected anytime soon, as the water level in rivers have gone up due to extended monsoon rains. According to the authority, the country has a demand of 900 megawatt electricity, but is currently producing 200 megawatts more than the demand. Majority of the hydropowers have not been producing electricity to their full capacity due to less consumption. Likewise, transmission line from India has already been constructed to import electricity in case there is a shortfall of domestic power output. Interestingly, the Electricity Authority has remained silent on the reasons behind the recent sporadic blackout in different parts of the country. The retail shops and businesses in Biratnagar are getting back on track amid the pandemic. In this context, in our Public Voice segment, we had asked the operators of these businesses in Biratnagar what preventive health measures have they been taking to curb the spread of COVID-19. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
काम त नगरी हुँदै हुँदैन उपाय नै छैन हैन त्यसैले अब हामीले त मास्कहरु लगाएको छौं ब्यागहरुमा सेनिटाइजरहरु बोकेर हिँडेका छौं
ठाउँ ठाउँमा सेनिटाइजरहरु राखेका छौं मास्क कम्पल्सरी गरेको छ
सोशल डिस्टेन्स बडी राखेर कामहरु गरिरहेका छौं
बजारबाट गइसकेपछि अब सरसफाइमा ध्यान दिएर मात्रै घर भित्र छिर्ने त्यस्तै खालका चाहिँ कामहरु गरिरहेका छौं
हामीले आफै सजग भएर अब मास्क लाएर सेनिटाइजर लाएर त्यस्तै अब आफूले सकेको जानेका गरिरहेका छौं
सेनिटाइजर कम्पल्सरी गरेका छौं जो पनि आउने सेनिटाइज गरेर आउने हामीले देखाउने अनि मास्क कम्पल्सरी
सरकारले जुन नर्म्सहरु दिएको छ त्यसलाई अलिकति विचार गर्दै चाहिँ नि काम चाहिँ सुचारु गर्नै पर्छ
मास्कहरु लगाएर हैन अब सेनिटाइजरहरु बोकेर अब आफै सुरक्षा भएर हिँड्नु पर्ला नि
सेनिटाइजर प्रयोग गरेर हामी आफै पनि प्रयोग गर्छौं कस्टमरलाई पनि दिन्छौं मास्क लगाएर कुरा गर्छौं
घरमा गएर त्यो आफूले लगाएको कपडाहरु सबै खोल्ने नुहाइदै गरेर बस्ने फेरि त्यो कपडाहरु सरसफाइ गर्ने निस्किने बेला नयाँ सफा कपडा लगाएर हिँड्ने
Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, why has government not slashed unnecessary employee quotas? Your options are A, no planning, B, employees having say, and C, unethical. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And with that, it's now time for our special segment, Media Watch.
The Supreme Court issued an interim order on Wednesday barring Vice Chairman of the ruling Nepal Communist Party, Bamdev Gautam, to serve as a lawmaker of the National Assembly. The Supreme Court will now carry out hearings at the Constitutional Bench regarding the legitimacy of the government's decision to nominate Leader Gautam to the upper house. The interim order has also barred Leader Gautam to become a minister for the moment. The Apex Court has summoned both petitioners and defendants on 30th of September for further discussions regarding the interim order. The Supreme Court has also issued an order to refer the case to the Constitutional Bench, saying the case needs further explanation to settle the constitutional dispute. A single bench of Justice Anandamohan Bhattarai has sought for clarification from the Office of the President, Council of Ministers, as well as from the Nepal Communist Party. A writ was filed by lawyers including senior advocate Dinesh Tripathi against the government's move to nominate Leader Gautam to the upper house, demanding to scrap the unconstitutional decision. Petitioners have claimed that nominating a vanquished candidate who had suffered defeat in the House of Representative elections to the National Assembly as a lawmaker undermines the public mandate and breaches the constitutional provisions. World-renowned mountaineer Ang Rita Sherpa passed away in Kathmandu on Monday at the age of 72. Sherpa had been suffering from brain and liver ailments for a long time. Sherpa holds the world record of summiting the world's highest mountain, Mount Everest, 10 times without carrying supplemental oxygen. Sherpa, born in Solukhumbu's Thame village in 1948, first conquered Mount Everest in 1983. Sherpa, who is also popularly known as Snow Leopard, is among a very few individuals who helped establish Nepal as a top destination for mountaineering in the global arena. The final rites of Ang Rita Sherpa were performed with state honors on Wednesday, with a squad of the armed police force offering him a guard of honor. Sherpa's death is an irreparable loss for the nation and the overall mountaineering sector of Nepal. This is Abhyuday Shrestha for Media Watch and Kantipur News Desk.
That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead.